Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 40 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other crafty shenanigans. Today is Saturday, November 14th, 2020, and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. If you're a new viewer, welcome so much. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to. I appreciate everyone that's here watching. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a gorgeous autumn day. Again, I love autumn. It's getting cooler out. We're getting down to the 40s overnight, upper 50s, low 60s during the day for high temperatures, but I love this time of year. My favorite time of year. I love the cooler temperatures. I love not being overheated. So I think I've been saying this every week for the past couple months. I've been commenting about how gorgeous this time of year is. So I've had a really productive week. First off, drinking some tea. Today it's a green tea blueberry flavor. And it's really nice. I bought this at Tuesday morning quite a while back. I want to think I've had this for over a year now. Easily over a year. I've had this for quite a long time. It's a really nice tea. I don't drink it often. I enjoy green tea, but I don't tend to drink it all the time. I just have a cup here and there. I find if I drink green tea too often, my tummy's not happy with me. I have a delicate constitution. Yeah, baloney. No, my tummy isn't fond of drinking green tea on a regular, frequent basis. So I save it for a treat and have it every once in a while. So as I mentioned, I've had a productive week in my knitting. I've got a finished object to show you, and it's not the one we're all hoping for, but it is a finished object. So I made a significant amount of work on one of my works in progress, and I've got one of my work in progress. This is now transitioned over into the finished object pile. So now I'm sitting with a total of three works in progress that I've got going. So without further ado, let's take a look at my finished object. They're done. And I love them. I love the length. I really do. I really do like this. These are my sort of shorty Christmas socks. And these are, I knit these as part of the Festive Sock Along 2020 with Amy Florence over on the Stranded podcast. And these are going to go in my box of Christmas socks. And I love them. Absolutely love them. I used West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. I used 2.25 millimeter needles or US 1. What yarn was this? West Yorkshire Spinners yarn in the Fairy Lights colorway. And when I last showed you these, this sock was done, and this sock was, let me put this one down before I hit myself in the head with it. And the second sock I had done down the leg, and I'd got to this point. So there wasn't a lot left to do on this sock. It was only just to finish the foot and do the toe decreases. So it wasn't a lot. I had a couple opportunities where I wanted to do some knitting and I needed something mindless. I wasn't up to the task of working on and learning the new parts on the slipstravaganza shawl. So I wanted something really mindless to work on, and my sort of shorty Christmas socks fit the bill. So I didn't follow a specific pattern for this. They're basic, just a very basic sock pattern. I cast on 64 stitches, did a 2x2 rib for about 3 inches, and then I did a slip stitch heel flap, heel turn, and the gusset decreases. And as I went down the foot, I continued doing the 2x2 rib all the way down the foot, and did the just stockingette on the bottom of the foot until I got to the toe, and then I just did stockingette all the way around. And I just did a basic wedge toe where I decreased 4 stitches every second round and took it down to, I think, 12 or 14 stitches on each needle, I think is how far I went. I'll have to double check. I don't have my details written down right beside me. But they were a nice, quick, easy pair of socks. I cast them on the 1st of October. Worked on them quite a bit for a few weeks, and then once the slipstravaganza shawl came out, all bets were off, and that's pretty much all I've worked on since that came out. So there we have it. They're done. They're done, and I'm so happy with them. They fit fantastic. I love the way they fit. I'm going to tuck them away until we get to the 1st of December, and then I'll start wearing them. I forgot to weigh the skein of yarn afterwards, but I'm pretty sure I still have half the 100-gram skein of yarn left. So what I plan on doing with the rest of the yarn is I'm going to make another pair of these, and I think what I'll do is a contrasting toe and heel on those. I think I'll leave the cuff in the regular design, but I will do contrasting heel and a contrasting toe. And then that way I'll have 2 similar socks. They won't be exactly the same. They'll have a different toe. So I'm gonna have to see if I have some green like this, or if maybe I'll use something in a red, or maybe I'll do white or an off-white heel and toe. Off-white heel doesn't sound like the smartest idea though, does it? That might get dirtier looking and worn looking faster than some other color. Oh, I need a haircut so bad. It's just getting so long, and it hasn't been cut since February. It's been a while. The bangs I trimmed myself, not very well. I trimmed them myself. So anyway, there are my sort of shorty Christmas socks. So first pair I've knit this fall. So I'm hoping to get some work done on another pair of sort of shorty socks, but I really do want to get my other whips under control and get them done. I really would like to finish out 2020 and have all my whips from 2020 done, gone, start new stuff come 2020 or 2021. That's really what I want to do, to be honest with you. So I still have my slipstravaganza to finish. I have my Tenya sweater, which I only have to add the sleeves to Tenya, and she's done. And I have my sock yarn scrap wrap, the mitered square blanket, or it was going to be a blanket. It's now going to be it's like a shawl, a wrap, a large rectangle. So I really want to get those 3 finished. I do have one more work in progress that I will be casting on in the next little while, and that's my Advent scarf. You can see my pile of Advent scarves from days gone by or years gone by. We've got the first little bit of information about the Advent scarf for 2020, and that will be the pattern pieces, or the clues will start coming out on the 1st of December. So we have our preliminary clue gauge swatch, and I'm going to get that one done up in the next little while. And then once that's done, I'll put that aside and I won't work on that anymore. Or I can't because I don't have any more information. But I will get back to working on that one each day starting the 1st of December. So in the meantime, I also would really like to get my other whips as done as possible between now and the 1st of December. And as I think I mentioned in an earlier video, starting this week coming up and next week, we have our Thanksgiving break from university. And we get the full week of Thanksgiving off with no classes, or I have no classes to teach during the whole week of Thanksgiving. And informally, once I'm done with my class this upcoming Wednesday afternoon, my Thanksgiving break starts. Technically it doesn't, but unofficially my Thanksgiving break starts at 3:45 on Wednesday afternoon, the 18th of November. And then we're not back until the Monday after Thanksgiving. I have no idea what the date is for that. November 20 something. And I have class starting up again the Monday after Thanksgiving. So I have that 10, 11 days where I have no work-related obligations that I have to do. I have a couple things probably on the Thursday and Friday that I can knit while I'm watching Zoom stuff. But during that, my break from school over Thanksgiving, I typically like to do what I call my Thanksgiving week, whip it down. And what I've done this for quite a few years now. I will line up all my works in progress that I have ongoing, no matter how old and dusty they are. And thankfully none of mine, some of them are old, but they've had some love in the last several months. But what I do is over the Thanksgiving break, I will devote time every day to each and every work in progress I have. So my hope is that I'll be able to, black smoke coming from my candle. Anyway, oh, good grief. It's like I saw a squirrel and got all distracted. Anyway, so I have my 3 works in progress. I'm hoping that during the Thanksgiving break, I can absolutely finish Tenya. I can quite likely finish my slipstravaganza shawl. And I really, really, really would love to be able to be finished with my scrap wrap. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to manage to get all 3 completely done before November is done. My goal is to have all 3 of those done before we get into the new year. But if I could have them all done by the end of the Thanksgiving break, oh my gosh, that would be so good. But anyway, so what I think I'm going to do starting next week is I'm going to start a little vlog series on my channel where I'm going to talk about my progress each day on whatever knitting project I've chosen for that day. So for example, on the Thursday, the 19th, so my first unofficial day, I will set aside and say, okay, I'm only working on one of the projects. What I'll probably do is Thursday I'll work on one, Friday the second, and Saturday the next one. Then Sunday back to the first one, Monday back to the second, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, back to the third one. And then just keep cycling through and spending some time each day on each of them. And as some of them get done, then I'll just cycle through the 2 that are left. So that's the plan. So I think I'm going to have to reorder how I filmed, or how when I edit I'm going to have to tweak what I've done here, because I went on talking about future plans before I talked about my my work in progress this past week. And I had a good night's sleep last night. Anyway, so let's take a look at my slipstravaganza shawl. So this is a mystery pattern by Stephen West. It started October 9th. The final clue came out in the end of October. I'm still working on. I'm still working on this. And I was kind of hoping I'd have it done for today, but once I saw the last clue and saw how many stitches there are per row, like, it's gonna be gorgeous when it's done. It's gonna be so gorgeous when it's done. I've seen the fourth clue now. I've looked at some of the spoiler pictures of what other people have done on what theirs look like, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm so happy with the way it's turning out. But I'm not going to be done for a little while yet. So this is the Mystery Shawl Knit Along for Fall 2020 by Stephen West. The pattern is called Slipstravaganza. It was set up as a mystery shawl. It came out, clues came out 4 consecutive Fridays through the month of October. And I knew right from the get-go I would never be able to keep up because I don't have enough hours in the day and strength in my hands to manage that. So I knew I'd fall behind. I'm fine with that. It's just, I accept that and happily knit. I'm certainly not going to let getting behind distract me and discourage me. I'm going to get it done. So for this, I'm using the 3.25 millimeter needles, or US size 3. I'm using whole super soft yarn in 4 colors. The main color is pineapple, and then 3 contrast colors, which are a light, medium, and a dark pink. So I used Sugar Snap, Carmine, and Geranium. Yeah, Sugar Snap is the lightest, Geranium is the medium pink, and then Carmine is a dark reddish pink. So I'm using those colors in here. So since last week, when I talked to you last week, I was finished the first half. I think I was completely finished the first half, or almost finished the first half of the second last clue. And then I still had another portion, the second part of the second last clue to finish. So I finished up that. I finished up to where we started the second half of clue 3. I finished clue number 3, and I've completed 6 rows on clue number 4. So I'm going to put a spoiler alert up here. I don't think we really need to keep spoiler alerts going on this anymore, since it's 2-3 weeks after the final clue has come out. But in case someone is still doing this and they want it to remain a surprise, I'll put a timestamp when it's safe to look back, and I'll show you where I'm at with this right now. So for starters, I have a hair elastic wrapped around my needles, because there's so many stitches on here that I can't spread it out without fear of, I can't spread it out to show you without fear of stitches starting to fall off the end of the needles, and I do not want that to happen. Yeah, I would not be a happy girl if that were to happen. So I'll show you now where I'm at. So if you want this to remain a surprise, look away, and I'll tell you when it's safe to come back. So it's quite a scrunchy bunchy, I don't want to call it mess, but it's all scrunchy bunchy, so it's really hard to see a lot of the detail quite yet. But this was clue number 1. This was a bonus clue, was this part here. Clue number 3 was this portion. No, clue number 2. Clue 1, bonus clue, clue number 2, and then clue number 3 included this part with the the lightest and darkest, the main color, my pineapple, and the dark pink. And then the second half of that clue, we're doing these little short row triangles that I have in my medium pink right here. So I think I had just a tiny bit left to do on this portion before I showed you this last week, I think. I don't think I'd completely finished that. Anyway, so I got the triangle parts done over the last week, this pink triangle bit. And now what the pattern does is now we're moving into a chevron pattern for the last part of the borders. So where we formed the triangles, now we're going to do a chevron over top of all the triangles. So the pattern has, you do some of the main color, it has slip stitches still incorporated in, and then you do a group of the first contrast color, then there's a little bit of the main color, then you do a bit of the second contrast, my white, third contrast, more white, and then if you want to make the shawl bigger, you do those 3 light, medium, and dark, or 3 contrast colors again, so that you have 6 chevrons or 6 chevron stripes going. I think I'm going to do the larger of the 2 shawls, just because I think it looks, I've seen pictures of both the larger and smaller, and I really like the way they look, but it's a lot more knitting. So if you've quit looking, you're safe to look back. You were safe to look back for a little bit, so I'll put a timestamp when it was safe to start looking back. So the current rows now are just over 900 stitches per row, and the chevron section has, if you do the larger version, it has a total of 49 rows at over 900 stitches. Right now I'm at 906, I think was on the last row I did, was 906 stitches. Each row increases by 1 to keep the beautiful shape of it. So by the time you get to the last one, you're going to be up to 900 and almost 50 stitches. It takes me over, I haven't even timed it, it takes me over an hour to do a row. I've completed 6 rows on the border, so I still have 42 rows to go. 42 or 43. So it's going to take me forever to finish this. I'm enjoying it. It's not a complicated knit, but it's just, it takes a lot of time for me just to slog through all those stitches. And then once you do that, then you get to do a I-cord bind off over 950 stitches. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous when it's done. It's going to be so pretty. I love the colors I chose. I really, really love the colors I chose. And it's going to look gorgeous when it's done. But that's a lot of stitches to knit. Oh well, so be it. It's going to be a gorgeous shawl when it's all finished. So I am excited for once it's done. I'm excited to get pictures of it once I get it blocking. I'll take some pictures before it's blocked, and then I will get some pictures in that when I'm soaking it, because it's a whole super soft, so it needs to have the spinning oils washed off, and it needs a good soak, and then take pictures once it's blocking. And so I'm hoping I'm able to show you the finished shawl in one video before it's blocked, and then the next week after it's blocked, if that works, if the timing works out. We shall see. But I'm excited to have it finished, and it's gonna take me, I really don't think I'll even have it done for next week, not unless I I don't know. We'll try. But I don't think I don't think I have 40 hours of knitting time. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of knitting time left on that. So, but I am hoping to get that done soon. Worst case scenario, it will be done before we get to the end of 2020 and finish before then, but we shall see. So I've filmed this in the wrong order. I started talking about my plans for my Thanksgiving break coming up. I started talking about those first. I'll decide once I'm doing the editing whether I rearrange parts of the video or whether I just leave it disjointed. You're probably used to my videos being a little bit disjointed already, so it's not going to be, that won't be a huge surprise for you. But otherwise, work is going well. Can't wait till the Thanksgiving break comes around. I am so ready for a break. I had picked up an extra course that I was teaching for a 6-week period to help out a colleague who had to take a short family leave. And so that added extra work onto my workload. That finished on, well, Thursday. I was done with that Thursday morning. So that's lightened up, so I've got one less thing to be on my plate for the rest of the semester, but we shall see. We're almost done. 1 week to go, then it's Thanksgiving break, and then 2 weeks of classes, then final exams, and then we're into the Christmas break. And I think we've got a long Christmas break this year. We're starting up the semester a week later, the spring semester a week later than normal. And the spring break is going to be cut out this year to minimize any concern, or minimize some of the concerns with the spread of illness on campus. So we shall see how that's going to be a long haul going through without a break in the middle, but it keeps us all healthy and safe. That's fine. But otherwise, I don't think I know too much else. I should get going and get the editing done on this, get this posted, and get working on row 7 on my chevron border, so I can only have 40 or 41 rows left to do. I'm hoping I can get 2 or 3 more rows at least done this afternoon, evening. If we watch a nice long movie this evening, I'll be able to maybe get an extra row done tonight. We'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care, and I will see you guys in a week. Bye now.